Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Jason White. This is Jason's Weird Reads. Thank you for joining me. Alright, so, I was tagged by Dane from Dane Reads to do this, the Get to Know the Writer tag, and, so I have a collection of short stories out. It's called Isolation, and I also have a novel called The Haunted Country, but you can't buy this, and if you see it, please don't buy it, because I won't see a penny from it. I'm re-releasing this soon, and Dane, who tagged me, he recently edited this for me, and it's hopefully going to come out very early 2021. But yeah, so I have those, and that's enough, I guess, self-promotion. So thanks, Dane, for tagging me, and on to the questions. Question number 1. At what time of the day do you usually write? And I do not have a set schedule for writing because I work the continental shift, which means I switch from nights to days every 2 weeks, and I work 12-hour shifts, 2 days on, 2 days off, alternating 3 days on the weekends between having the weekend off or working those 3 days. And let me tell you, that gets confusing when you're trying to keep a schedule. It's not just confusing, it's
fucking impossible.
And it's frustrating. I hate it. So there's that. I write basically whenever I can. I try to plan the day before that, you know, I'm going to write tomorrow, I'm going to do it maybe at this time, and I'm going to be upfront. Oftentimes that doesn't happen. I'm usually tired and grumpy and unfocused. So you have that. Question number 2, do you outline your work or just wing it? And my answer for that is I would like to be able to outline my novels, but I haven't been able to completely do that yet. I have an unfinished novel that I did outline completely from beginning to end, and I'm at the very end. I made it to like 85,000 words, and I ran into an issue, and my inner editor said, "Stop!" And so I did. And I'm planning on like going into the revisions and ending it that way, and I'm hoping that I can do that soon, because I think the story has something valuable to say, but there's got to be a lot of changes made. It was a lot of fun writing it though up until I stopped, but yeah, so that was the one book that I did outline, but for the most part I do both. I write from the seat of my pants or discovery write, but I also like to know where I'm going, so I'll typically outline as I go. So this is to say I write to chapter 4, and I don't know, I'm getting to that middle part that's awful, and this is where I will outline the most, because I need to know where the story is going. I need to know what that middle part is, and I really need to know what the ending is to get there. And so a lot of it goes on in here, but oftentimes in the Word document that I'm writing, I'll have a few notes, like this has to happen, this has to happen, and this has to happen. And, you know, sort of like tomorrow, write this scene, that type of thing. So I always have an idea where I'm going, but actually doing a full outline from beginning to end, I've only done once, and it was rather successful. Not yet. Not completely successful yet, but we're getting there. Alright, question number 3. What authors do you admire the most? And is this a trick question? The reason why I say that is because there's so many. I'm going to say one of the first writers who really blew my mind with their use of language was Caitlyn R Kiernan. She used language in a very emotional way that I was unaccustomed to when I first approached her first released novel, which is Silk. That novel killed me in the best possible way. I absolutely love that novel, and I even purchased a signed copy from the author herself on her eBay store a long time ago. Her styling has only grown more complicated over the years, and that's a good thing. There's so many times when I'm reading her work and I have no idea what exactly is going on, but I like that. And it's supposed to be that way. I mean, it's weird fiction, so obviously I like weird fiction, and I love her work, so I would put her there. Also, Stephen King, I like his literary approach to horror. A lot of people complain about how thick his books are, and I don't plan on ever writing thick horror novels, to be quite honest with you. And there's a reason for that. The main reason is I think horror functions better in the shorter form. But I admire his language too, because he keeps it simple. Well, for the most part, uh, he you don't ever struggle with his prose, but it's also very well written, in my opinion. So those are two. There's so many others, though. I could say Chad Lutsky. Yeah, and now my mind decides to go blank after I say that there's so many. Well, there's Lovecraft. His writing is very interesting. It's either way bloated and kind of awful, the prose of it, or it works beautifully and wonderfully. All right, I'm gonna stop there because I could go into down into a rabbit hole where I'm just searching for authors I admire, and it could take a long time. Question number 4: what's your least favorite genre to write or read? And I think this has been a fairly common answer, and mine too. That would be romance. I don't like reading romance. I have read some romance, and it's just not for me. If you like reading romance, that's great, but I personally don't. Also, to answer this question, I want to add science fiction. Maybe I love reading science fiction, but writing it intimidates the hell out of me. I would like to be able to write some hard science fiction, but that I think is probably an impossibility for me because I don't have the focus I think it would take to get the science right, and I'm also intimidated too easily when it comes to the science. I love science, and I read about science. I especially love reading about space. Getting the facts right in an actual story, it would bug the hell out of me. So I don't think I'm ever going to do that. That intimidates me. Question number 5: do you want writing to be a hobby, or is your goal to be to write full time? Honestly, I think I would like to write full time, but right now, and I'm fine with it, it's just a hobby. I definitely don't have a backlist big enough at all, by any means whatsoever, to make much money at all. And I'm hoping that one day I'll have somewhat of a backlist. I don't think the way I write now, it would be impossible for me to live off my writing. It would be nice if I could find a good schedule where I could write every day and become somewhat prolific to be able to do that. But I think, honestly, it'd be better to find different sources of income and be able to do what I love doing, which isn't just writing. I would like to be able to incorporate YouTube and the videos I create. There's also some other forms of passive income. Dane was actually talking about passive income in his video, but passive income can be very powerful in sustaining yourself. It can also be very very bad if people stop consuming the things you're making. But yeah, I would like to be able to live off the things I enjoy doing, which writing is definitely included in that. Question number 6: what's the hardest part of writing for you? And for me, it's just getting there to do it, because getting over the hump of to where you're there and actually writing is very difficult for me, because there's this hill I gotta climb before I get there, and sometimes you're just not there. And it's a challenge for me every day to try and get there and do it. There's times where I'll go and I'll do it, and every day for a little while, and then I start to slag off, and then I gotta start pumping myself up again, and it's a daily struggle. So definitely getting to the table to write, that's the hardest for me. This is question number 7: do you have a writing routine? And I kind of answered that with an earlier question, and that is hell no. I wish I did, but I don't. I used to, back before I got the job that I'm in now, I used to write every day for at least an hour, and that is gone and dead now. I would love to be able to get that back. Question number 8, what's your solution to writer's block? I find that with me, writer's block always comes with insecurity. When I'm feeling at my lowest about myself and my creativity or my ability to create or to write a compelling story that people will want to read, that isn't garbage, then if I'm feeling that way, which I'll be honest is often, I have a lot of trouble getting over that hump and getting to the table to write. But I'm not alone in that. I think a lot of writer's block comes from that insecurity. And so basically the best way to overcome that would be to reread something you wrote a while ago that people seem to enjoy, especially if you're published. If you're not published, I would just say struggle on, keep going. And that would be my second point. If you have that first to lean on, to go reread something of yours that you don't think is garbage and that other people seem to like, then also just keep going. My biggest advice, I think, would be just to write it even if it's going to be crap, because you can fix it later. In fact, that's the point of the first draft, is to get the story out so that you can go back and fix it later. There are some writers out there who write the first draft and that's pretty much the end, because they work and work and work at that one page that they've been on for maybe 2 or 3 days until it's perfect. And I don't know how they do that. I've tried doing that, and I can't do that. I stop. So yeah, just keep going, even if you're hating on it. Just keep going until it's done, and that's something that I need to do a lot more of myself. Question number 9, how long have you had a writing blog? I haven't really had much of a writing blog in a long time, but I did start with one way back in 2005 and 6. Do you remember MySpace at all? You used to be able to write blog entries on there, and that's what I really missed about Facebook's when Facebook took over, basically, is that you can't write blogs anymore on your social platform that most people are using. But way back before Facebook, MySpace was it, and you had a space there for blog entries, and I used to write in that all the time. And I even had a small, very small, but a small following there, and I used to update my writing, what I was writing and whatnot back then. And I haven't really kept it up since the fall of that. I've tried other platforms like LiveJournal, Blogger, quite a few others, but I haven't been able to keep it up. It's just, there's too many other pressing things, I guess. I don't know. But I was able to keep up the MySpace one. Alright, question number 10. Do you think having a writing blog has helped your writing in any way? And no, probably not, because I don't really keep one now. And maybe I do have a website that's rather incomplete. Should probably finish it and then start it up again, doing that, the writing blog thing. I like the idea of it anyway, but I kind of do that here on YouTube. It's not written, but it's me yakking on about stuff. And so maybe I'll just continue doing that. I don't know. So that is it for this tag, and maybe for some tags for a while. Thank you for watching, and keep being safe, keep being creative, and I'll catch you guys in the next bookish video.